Let's get some more on the breaking news right now. Joining us, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington State. Mr. Chairman, Ukrainian President Zelensky just lashed out at NATO for not implementing a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Listen to this.
We believe that NATO countries have created a narrative that closing the skies over Ukraine would provoke Russia's direct aggression against NATO. This is the self-hypnosis of those who are weak, insecure inside, despite the fact they possess weapons many times stronger than we have.
What do you say to that, Mr. Chairman?
Well, I think the military situation is clear. And if I was President Zelensky, I would be saying whatever I had to say to try to get as much support as possible. But the choice that the U.S. and our NATO allies face is that, to directly engage Russian forces is to start a war with them. And there's no reason to believe that Russia wouldn't shoot back and attack in different places. And as we've said from the start, we want to get weapons into Ukraine. We want to get support into Ukraine. But if we start a war with Russia, there will be more, not less, suffering. And a no-fly zone requires us to shoot down Russian planes, or it requires Russia to simply agree to the no-fly zone. We would have to contest the sky with Russia. I mean, that's war. That's a direct conflict. I completely understand what President Zelensky is asking for, given the situation he's facing. But a larger war would also have devastating consequences.
Yeah, President Biden clearly fears it could start World War III with the Russians. Based on the intelligence that you're receiving, Mr. Chairman, what's the latest assessment of the dynamic that is now on the ground in Ukraine?
Well, a lot of it depends on the last report you said. How well organized are Ukrainians to continue fighting even after Russians take ground? Are they able to build an insurgency? And it sounds like they are. So the Russians can't really take ground and then feel secure. It's a constant fight. Obviously, they have the forces, far more forces than Ukraine, to roll in. But can they capture and keep territory? As we know, they've been bogged down in the north. They've experienced trouble in a variety of different places. But the plan is still the plan, which is basically to cut the Ukrainian army off in the east by connecting down from Russia down to the Black Sea, because about half the Ukrainian army has been in the east because of that separatist movement out there, and then take Kyiv and put in a puppet government. They're struggling to do that at this point, but they have overwhelming force. That this fight has been vastly more difficult than they expected, and I don't think anyone, for sure, can predict how successful they're going to be in implementing that plan.
As you know, there are increasing calls right now to prosecute Putin for war crimes. Should the U.S. be using that term, war crimes, to describe Putin's aggression?
Yeah, I'm not an expert in that. I don't want to get caught up in specific semantic terms. What Russia is doing in Ukraine is brutal and indiscriminate. They are killing civilians and destroying property. And it's crucial to point out, as I heard you say in your opening earlier, this is totally unprovoked. Ukraine did not attack Russia. Ukraine did not threaten Russia in the least bit in any way. Russia chose to attack Ukraine and put this brutality down on a peaceful civilian population because they wanted to grab territory. This is a war of choice using force to expand borders, something that the entire world must condemn. The brutality is obvious. I'm not going to get caught up in, is it a war crime? Is it not a war? It is an awful, horrible thing to do that should be condemned by everybody in the world without question.
You're absolutely right. Congressman Adam Smith, thank you so much for joining us. We'll continue this conversation down the road.
Thanks.